This is the CCEA Maths M8 Paper 2, and it's from the summer 2021. So let's take a wee look at question 1. Construct the line which represents the shortest distance from point P to the line ST in the diagram below. We first of all need to put our compass at the point P and then mark 2 points on the line ST. So I've set it up like that. That's on the point P. I hope you can just about see it. And then I'm going to mark off a point there. And then down on the other side. Just off screen. We'll go up there. And so we have those 2 points there. So we have this point here and this point here. We then effectively need to do the perpendicular bisector. So you can change your distance in your compass if you wish, but keep mine the same. I'm going to mark that there, and then I'm going to mark that there, and that's really as much as we need to do. They want the shortest distance from P to the line ST. So if we join those two up, that should give us exactly then what we need. And that's the line then that's required. Question 2, a solution to the equation 4x minus x cubed minus 2 equals 0 lies between 0 and 1. Use trial and improvement to find this solution, given your answer correct at one decimal place, and show all your working clearly. If it's between 0 and 1, we may as well pick then x equals 0.5, which is halfway in between. So we would go 4 times 0.5, take away 0.5 cubed, take away 2, and that gives us minus 0.125, and that then of course is too small. So we'll try something a bit bigger, and it's going to be 0.6. 4 times 0.6, take away 0.6 cubed, take away 2, and that gives me 0.184. So we know what's in between, because that's now too big. So we know what's in between 0.5 and 0.6. We're asked for the one decimal place, so we just need to work out which one it's going to be. So to do that, we take halfway in between the two, so it's 0.55. So do 4 times 0.55, take away 0.55 cubed, take away 2, and that's 0.033625. That means that halfway in between these two is going to be too big, which means then it's going to be lower than that. So my answer then is 0.5. Question 3, we're going to just extend out here, hopefully get a slightly better view. Complete the table of values for y equals 3x squared plus 6x minus 4. It's only this one we need to do, all the rest are filled in. So minus 1 squared of course gives us a 1, so it's 3, take away 6, take away 4. So that then is going to be minus 7. Starting to plot the points in, minus 420, minus 3, 5, minus 2, minus 4, minus 1, minus 7, just about see that there. 0, minus 4, and you can see the symmetry because it's a parabola coming in 1, 5, and then 2, 20. Try my best here to join up these lines nice and neatly. And that's our line there. It then says draw the line y equals 12 on the grid. So line y equals 12 is a horizontal line going through 12. So that's my line y equals 12. And then write down the x values of the points of intersection with this line. So there's one there, and there's one there. We just need the x coordinates. So I think that's about 1.75. And I think then minus 3.75 because of the symmetry. 1.75 minus 3.75. Question 4, write them as a binary number. We'll come back in. Focus. So to do our binary numbers, we need to do powers of 2. Remember, we do it backwards. It's 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 3, 2 to the power 4, 2 to the power 5, and 2 to the power 6. That helps me remember the numbers. 2 to the power 0 is 1, then 2, then 4, then 8, 16, 32, and 64. And we have the number 1001101. So in our number there is a 64, there's no 32, there's a 16, there's an 8, and there's a 1. And so the answer to that then is going to be 89. Number 5, two transmitters are located at the points A and B 9 meters apart. The best reception is an area which is less than 6 meters from A and closer to B than A. Shade this area on the scale drawing below using a scale of 1 centimeter to 1 meter. So less than 6 meters from A, so we need to set our compass to 6. There. As accurately as I can. So that's all set down to 6. Hopefully you can see that. And 6 meters from A. So right on my A here. Have that. And then it says closer to B than A. So that would be the perpendicular bisector, which is what we need. So because that's set to there, then we can set this way around as well. And my perpendicular bisector will go through where those two arcs cross each other. So what do we have? Closer to A is all of this. No, within 6 centimeters from A is all of this. And then closer to B, so the bit that we want is this bit here. And that's it. Question 6. John earns X pounds per hour on Fridays and Y pounds per hour on Saturdays. In March he worked 20 hours on Fridays, 12 hours on Saturdays, and earned 322. In April he worked 16 hours on Fridays, 10 hours on Saturdays, and earned 262. Use simultaneous equations to find the values of X and Y. So it's going to be 20X plus 12Y equals 322. Call that equation 1. Then it's going to be 16X plus 10Y equals 262, and I'm going to call that equation 2. We could either make the x's the same or the y's the same. I'm going to make the x's the same. Both those numbers go into 80. So I'm going to times equation 1 by 4, which would be 80x plus 48y equals, I think it's 1288. You can use your calculator for it, obviously. Then times this one by 5, so it's 2 times by 5, 80x plus 50y, and times that by 5, 1310, I think. 1310. We now have this. If we subtract, if we go with this one, take away this one, that should give us positive numbers. This, take away this, gives me 0. 50 take away 48 gives me 2y. And then here we have 22. That means y is 11. Sub it into number 2. So number 2 is this one here. So it's going to be 16x. 10 times that was 110 is 262. That gives me 16x is 152. And if I divide both sides in by 16, I get 9.5. The question just says find the values of x and y, so it doesn't need to be in terms of money or anything like that, but they're 11 and 9.5. So we have 9.5 and we have 11. Question 7. £3,000 is invested at £2 compound interest per annum. Explain why the formula for value v after n is given by this here times 1.02 to the power of n. If you want to add 2% to something, you can multiply it by 1.02. If you do 3,000 times by 1, that gives you 3,000. If you want to add 2%, so 1.02, so that's like as your multiplier. And if you times that then by 1.02, that's going to give you it after 1 year. And how do you get it then after the next year? You times by 1.202. And so it's 1.02 for each year. So for n years, it would be 1.02 to the power of n, because that's 1.02 times 1.02 times 1.02 times 1.02. Calculate the value after 6 years. So that's 3,000, 1.02 to the power of 6. And that gives me 3,378.49. After how many years was the value 3247.30 to the nearest penny? So obviously going to be less than 6, so let's just kind of try some numbers. If I try 5, 3,000 times 1.02 to the power of 5. What have we done wrong? It's 300, so this would be 3312. That's no good, so that's too big, so let's try 4. 3,000 times 1.02 to the power of 5. Sorry, I've just done the same thing again. 3,000 times 1.02 to the power of 4. 3247.30. 3427.30. So it equals 4. Let's see. Write the formula for the value v after n years if the £3,000 investment decreased at a rate of 2% per annum. So instead of being like 102%, it would be 98%, because so instead of adding the 2% on, you're taking it off. So it would be v equals 3,000 upon 0.98 to the power of n. I should have that written in there. Okay. Question 8. The probability of France team scoring first is 0.75. If they score first, the probability to win the game is 0.8. If they do not score first, the probability to win the game is 0.4. Show this information on the tree diagram. So we score first, and then don't score first. And that's 0.75 and 0.25, and then it's win, lose, or don't win is better actually, because in case it's a draw, don't win, win, don't win. If they score first, probably to win the game is 0.8. So that then is going to be 0.2. If they do not score first, they'll probably win the game is 0.4, 0.4, and then 0.6. Fran's team play 50 games this season. Use your tree diagram to predict how many games they will win. Show you're working clearly. Okay, so they will win. There's two options for them to win. They can go this way here, 0.75 times 0.6, and that gives them then 0.6, or 0.25, 0.4, and that gives them 0.1. So it's 0.75 times 0.8 plus 0.25 times 0.4. That gives me 0.6 plus 0.1. That's equals 0.7. If they play 50 games, 0.7 times 50 is then 35. The lengths of the sides of a triangle are 6, 7, and 8. Calculate the three angles in the triangle. 6, 7, and 8. And I'm going to try and work out this angle here. I'm going to call this one A. I'm going to need to use our cosine rule. So if I go to my formula, we'll need it the other way around. A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. This is the one you're given, so I might as well use it, but I want the cos A bit on its own, so I'm going to take it over to the other side. I'm going to take this over to the other side and take this over to the other side. Hope you're okay with that. So it's 2BC cos A is B squared plus C squared minus A squared, and that means cos A is equal to B squared plus C squared minus A squared all over 2BC. Some people like to have the wee numbers in here, so if that's A, that's going to be A, that one's important. Then the B and C don't really matter so much, but if we're B and C there, then that will be a capital B, and that will be a capital C. So my cos A is going to be equal to 6 squared plus 7 squared minus 8 squared all over 2 upon 6 upon 7. Cos A equals, and let's put them in if we kind of stick it as a fraction, so 6 squared plus 7 squared minus 8 squared all over 2 times 6 times 7 equals a quarter. Really? And so then shift cos answer equals, that gives me 75.52 degrees. You can do what you want. You could use a sine rule for the second angle if you want, or you could just do the cos rule again and change these two around. I'm going to use the sine rule to work out one of the other angles. I have this one, I'm going to do this one, so it's going to be sine B over B equals sine A over A. So sine B over 6 equals sine 75.52 over 8, and again then sine B is sine 75.52 over 8 times by 6. So I still have the number in my calculator here, so if I try and take then the sine of the answer, I get that. I'm then going to divide by 8 times by 6, 0.7268, and then I do sine to the minus 1 here. And I get 46.57. So we've got two of my angles there, 75.52 they are 46.57, and of course if I take them away from 180 degrees, I get 57.91. Question 10. This one's very hard to picture. From a point A, a pylon is 25 meters north and 20 meters east. The pylon is 12 meters high. Calculate the distance AT, where T is the top of the pylon. You can, it's effectively, so you're heading this way and then you're going right and then kind of up in the air. So you could do Pythagoras. If you look at this kind of as the land lies, that's a 25 and that's a 20. And then this telegraph pole or whatever it is, the pylon just comes straight up in the air. So you do Pythagoras for 25 and 20 and get your answer to that, and then do Pythagoras for that there, and then the 12 which is sticking up in the air to get the answer. But Pythagoras works for all three of those. So if we just do 25 squared plus 20 squared plus 12 squared, it gives you 1169, and the square root then of 1169 gives you 34.19. 34.19. Alright, calculate the angle of elevation of T from A. So we're back here and it's a T, so I'm going to turn this sideways and make it kind of look proper. We know that there is 34.19, we've just worked it out, and that's 12. So as we look from the side, it looks like this. 34.19 and 12, and there's T and there's the A, and my angle of elevation then is going to be that. So I label my sides. This is just simple trig, so it's O and that's H. So we're going to use sine. Sine x is O over H. Sine x is 12 divided by 34.19, and then x is sine to the minus 1 of that. So shift sine 12 divided by 34.19 is equal to 20.55 degrees. A bag contains 40 marbles. X of these are white. One marble is taken at random, and then without replacement, a second marble is taken at random. The probability that neither of these is white is 5/12. Show that x squared plus 79x plus 910 is equal to 0. This is a tough question. So if x of them are white, how many aren't white? There's going to be 40 minus x. The probability that I pick the first one then is 40 minus x over 40. How many are now left in it? There are 39. And then the probability it's not white is going to be then 39 minus x. And we're told that that equals then 5/12. Goodness. So we're going to find a common denominator here. So it's going to be 40 minus x upon 39. In fact, no, sorry, I'm being silly here. Because they're multiplying, obviously we just need to multiply the two tops. I thought we were adding the two fractions, but we're not. So top times top, bottom times bottom. So it's going to be 40 minus x upon 39 minus x all over 40 times 39 is 5/12. So 40 times 39, I think is 1560. 1560, outer and inner, minus 40x minus 39x, so that's minus 79x. and then plus x squared all over 1560 equals 5/12. 1560 minus 79x plus x squared equals 5/12 times 1560. So it gives me 650. See, 1560 minus 79x plus x squared equals 650. And if I rearrange, I will get x squared minus 79x plus 910 equals 0. Hence, calculate the probability that both marbles taken are white, so we need to work out then our x. So we can either try and factorize it, which is quite tough. There are two factors that will work. If you do x minus 14 upon x minus 65 equals 0, that factorizes it. Or, of course, we could use the formula where we have a, b and c. A is 1, b is minus 79, and c is 910. Either way, you get x equals 14. Of course, x can't be 65 because there's only 40 marbles in it. Alright, and this one will give you 14 as well. So what's the probability both are white? The probability the first one's right is 14 out of 40. The probability that the second one is white is going to be 13 because the first one was white over 39. That all cancels down. So that goes once, that goes 3 times. Again, you just put this in your calculator anyway. That's a 7, and that's a 20. 7 times 1, 3 times. So the answer then is 7/60. And that's us done.